the most competitive league in the world.
What?
It's the highest level of basketball, and if you love basketball, you love the WNBA.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that?
There's also a little delusion
about it. You need to be paid because you command the same respect. The game is just as good.
The WNBA becoming better than the NBA? I think so. This past season, the NBA just isn't entertaining to watch, at least in my opinion. There's so many blowouts. Everybody's shooting three-pointers. And nobody is holding defense. It feels like being a sports bettor, a lot of these things happen on purpose in the game, which is causing the NBA to not be as interesting to watch. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying that the viewership is down. Maybe we're not getting all the correct stats. Maybe viewership is down in the U.S., but I think viewership overall is up globally. Let me explain. The NBA has been marketing for years now their brand overseas and globally. And I think that's why a lot of the rule changes have been occurring year by year. You know, like they added the Euro step. Players seem like they travel every trip to the basket now. You can't hand check anymore. You can't really play physical at all. You can't even do a hard foul without getting ejected from the game or fined. And I believe this is because they wanted to go global with the game, because most international players, they grow up playing the game. Every position plays the same. Even the center plays the point guard, can dribble and shoot threes. The U.S. ball players used to always have each position doing their job. You know, back with the Shaq Diesels and Patrick Ewings, Olajuwon, Bill Laimbeer, Patrick Ewing. The list goes on with centers with their back to the basket going to the hole, which was a dominating force below. So when these guards used to go to the hole, they wasn't just dunking on people like that. They might get a heavy, big body coming across and delivering a, foul. It might be a hard foul. It might be a foul just to make sure you don't dunk on them, but it's going to be a foul. You're not just going to come into the lane doing what you want to do when you want to do it. So because of that, nobody like playing defense anymore. You're going to get fouls. All the players are shooting three-pointers, even the centers. The centers are getting all the assists. You don't know what position is what no more. And I think that have a lot to do with transferring a brand to get global views, so they don't need the American views anymore. So they wanted to cater to that style of play. So now in the U.S., you got all these kids coming up playing basketball through the AAU circuit, and everybody is shooting threes, just run and gun. Nobody is really focusing on defense. You still have them certain players that's just naturally a defensive-minded genius, and that's what they prefer to do night in and night out. But it's not many, and the scores be ridiculous these days. It's hard to find a good game. You never know who's going to win. It could be the number one team in the West playing against the weakest team in both conferences with the worst record. And that team will blow out the best team in the NBA any given night with their bench players. The worst team in the league can have their starters injured, and they'll still go into a game beating one of the best teams in the league. And I think that got something to do with a lot of the sports betting, Vegas, because while they transitioning to rebrand globally, I think they are losing money in the transition. But I feel like they believe going forward, once they accomplish what they out to do, they feel like they'll make more money overall globally. So right now, I think what's holding them over since the 2020 lockout with the bubble, I think the league lost a lot of money. So I think to get back, that's why they made sports betting legal overall on the apps, and they manipulate stats day in and day out. I believe the players understand the assignment and they're all on board. Any given night, they might have to go under, they might have to go over. And I believe they on board because it's probably somewhere in the contract so they can continue getting all these millions that they get in there because they got to make money somewhere. So with all this being said, it came to a point where this past WNBA season, the first year I became a fan, it was actually a more exciting season than this year's NBA. Part of the reason why is this girl right here, Caitlin Clark. She came out and single-handedly brought a lot of swag and attention to the WNBA. Angel Reese also. Shout out to Angel Reese. But Caitlin Clark, she was just more of a dog this past season. Caitlin Clark provides honest opinion on her emotional Iowa jersey retirement. Her former college just retired her jersey in February on the 2nd. Back in December, the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team announced that Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark's number 22 Iowa jersey will be retired on February 2nd, 2025, when the Hawkeyes take on the USC Trojans at home. While Iowa had announced that Clark's jersey will forever hang in the rafters just 3 days after her final college game, they waited until nearly the end of the year before announcing the very sit-in date of February 2nd for the actual ceremony. And this somewhat late announcement had no effect on ticket prices as online ticketing marketing place TicketPick made a December 19th X post that wrote Iowa is retiring Caitlin Clark jersey number on February 2nd. The cheapest ticket to the game is $711. Wow. This is currently the most expensive women basketball ticket on record. That's a lot of money to pay for a college sports game. However, this moment will only occur once, which is why it will be an emotional evening in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And even Clark admitted that she'll be in her feelings that day when speaking with CBS Sports' David in a recent interview. I think it's probably hard to really feel all the emotions until I going to be inside Carver and really see it and experience it with my family. Clark said per a January 25 X post from David. I'm not usually a very emotional person, but I feel like this will probably make me a little more emotional. Clark added of the jersey retirement, and usually when we had certain things inside of Carver, I've been competing or playing shortly before like something like that. So it's hard to evoke emotion after you just competed for 40 minutes. But now that I'm not actually playing, I feel like I'll be more emotional, even though I'm not a super emotional person. Clark added, I'm just very grateful and thankful, so it will be really special. That February 2nd game will certainly be special, not only for Clark, but for all those who are attending and spectating on TV. Tickets are going for $711. She is going to sell that arena out. And I think that energy is going to transfer to the next WNBA season. I know I'm going to be watching. I think I'm going to get a league pass for the WNBA. I even rejected the free 3 months pass for the WNBA this year after seeing the beginning of the season, the first game of the season. First game, I was like, yeah, I'm done already. After just watching this WNBA season, yeah, I was done with the men. The men is starting to disappoint the average fan. They're lazy. They always time management. They don't like playing back-to-backs. This generation got soft. I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up, watching the Michael Jordans, the Magic Johnson, Larry Birds, and the Isaiah Thomas. Just players that was dogs and didn't need nights off, didn't want nights off. We'll play hard every night, offense and defense. And I believe with Caitlin Clark emerging in the WNBA and becoming the face of it, and her play as being a dog, night in and night out without taking any breaks or cheating her fans with her energy that she brings to the court night in and night out. I believe the rate the NBA is going right now, and with Caitlin Clark just springboarding the WNBA this past season, in a couple years, I say about 3 to 4 years, if it continue on this trend, the WNBA are going to be getting more attention than the NBA, probably more subscriptions to League Pass. Hopefully, this upcoming season, some more young females come out of college and can also ball to keep the game interesting. But I know this year, living in Arizona, I'm going to be going to some Mercury games. I've never been to one, but I'm going to start going, especially when Caitlin Clark come into town and when Angel Reese come into town. Shout out to them sisters for carrying the WNBA for this next generation of fans. But let me know in the comments section, do you like watching the WNBA? And did you find the WNBA entertaining this past season? Going to be supporting the WNBA moving forward. But it's your boy P Dizzle. As always, I'm out. Peace.